Thank you for coming. This is a great turnout. My name is Ann Delahanty-Koenig. I'm the supervisor of the counseling department at Sycamore. We have a few of the other counselors here as well, and they'll sort of be trickling in and out. Mr. Mader's in the back, Dr. Mack is in the back, Mr. Millette, who is in charge of the Post-Secondary Planning Center, and he kind of spearheads our College Credit Plus program at Sycamore. Mr. Sweeney is back there. Mrs. Brenner is here recording. She set this thing up and it's right in my face, so I'm super excited about that. Mr. Mader, anything before we get started, or should we just roll? Okay, so we have some special guests here this evening. We have a representative from UC main campus and also Sinclair. We also have a student who has done extensive College Credit Plus over the last couple of years, and she's going to just give you a sort of overview of what her experience has been. And then at the end of the presentations, we will allow for a short question and answer session, but we will point you in the direction of all the resources that you need to get other questions answered or contact information with people on the various campuses that your students can participate in the College Credit Plus program with. So my part of the presentation is just to kind of give you an overview of what CCP is in the state of Ohio. And so if you're new to this, you will probably learn a lot. If you have been to these presentations in the past or your kids have participated in them, there are some new details from the university side of it in terms of how your students apply and get approved to participate in the College Credit Plus. So we'll kind of get rolling here. Mr. Millette is my Vanna White up there with the clicker since I don't have one. So apologize for the quality of that screen right there, but so just in terms of what College Credit Plus is, it's not really a new program, it just kind of has a shiny new name. We're in the third year of it. Prior to this, it was called dual enrollment, and prior to that, it was called post-secondary option. So basically what it is a state-funded program that allows high school students to earn college credit. So sort of that dual credit opportunity that any student in the state of Ohio has. So College Credit Plus, in a nutshell, is, as I just said, a way for high school students to earn college credit. By doing so, it's an initiative that allows you as parents, them as students, to be able to save time and money spent in college. It can definitely help with college readiness, and it allows students to graduate high school with college credit. So basically, students now can receive college credit while in high school by either participating in the AP program, which is taking advanced placement classes, and or participating in College Credit Plus, which is taking classes with our universities that are close by, or by doing some things online. It is a state of Ohio program, so it doesn't really cross state lines in terms of being able to participate with those universities. There's 3 ways to do it. And we have students at Sycamore High School who could fit into any one of these categories. But the first way to do it is at Sycamore High School, we offer 5 classes in conjunction with University of Cincinnati main campus. And those 5 classes are taught here as a regular bell in the school day. They're taught by a Sycamore High School teacher who's accredited by the credentialed by the University of Cincinnati. And the students take those classes, they kind of like don't even really know they know. Most of them are in there for that reason, but it doesn't feel any different in their actual school day. The classes are, they're challenging, they're college level courses taught here. So that's one way they can do it. They can take number 2, sort of a hybrid approach, most of their classes at Sycamore, and then they may leave for part of the day and participate in maybe UC Blue Ash, Sinclair, UC main campus, and there's all kinds of options open to them. Typically, the students who do that are older. They're usually our juniors or seniors, or they maybe can provide their own transportation. That can be a very logistical issue, just depending on how old your son or daughter is and how what the plans are to leave Sycamore High School during the day and go to wherever they're going to take those classes. So, and that is something that is the responsibility of you, the parent or the student, We do not make any of those arrangements for them. Sometimes it gets a little tricky scheduling those classes because oftentimes by the time our schedule comes out in late summer and they're trying to coordinate with college campuses, it can get a little bit tricky, but it's very doable. And the third option is that we have a few students, not very many, who can go full-time at the university and still receive that dual credit, that college credit and that high school credit to complete their high school graduation requirements. So those are the 5 classes that we teach at Sycamore that are University of Cincinnati transcripted credit courses. So you can kind of see there's a wide range there, from physics to a teaching academy that we have, engineering, MATLAB, and accounting 1. And so right now those are the 5 here. We typically have a lot of students enrolled in those courses. And again, like I said, they are getting the dual credit for that. So Sycamore High School has agreements with, technically in the state of Ohio, students can participate in College Credit Plus with just about any university that makes sense. So some universities will have online programs. That kind of opens up a lot of universities that they couldn't physically go to. But in this area, most of our students are working with the schools or a branch camp, University of Cincinnati or one of the branch campuses, Sinclair, and you're going to hear from Sinclair and UC main campus tonight, as I mentioned, as well as Cincinnati State, and so on. So the private schools, like a Xavier, can also participates in this, but the cost is a little bit different to the school district, and sometimes with the private schools there may be a cost to the family as a result. We don't have any students currently participating in any schools other than what you see up there. So in order to participate in CCP, and tomorrow at 9, we are meeting with students in the building who are interested in College Credit Plus. So basically the same presentation to the students, but it's really helpful if you're here tonight and this is something that you want your son or daughter to participate in. Helping with these logistics is really important. So in order to participate, they have to, by March 15th, turn in an intent to participate form. It was in the paperwork that you got up there. There'll also be downloadable copies of it on the Sycamore High School counseling webpage, as well as on the college end. Those forms are also available to be printed out and downloaded on the college websites as well. But that's one of the first things that we need to happen. One of the main reasons that we need that to happen is because we need to really have a handle on which of our students are participating in this, and it's also important on the college end as well. You're basically signing an agreement with that form. So that's super important. The other thing that has to happen, and this is kind of like a weird concept to wrap your brain around initially, especially if your son or daughter is a 9th or a 10th grader or whatever, but really what they're doing in this program is they're applying to college. They're applying to the College Credit Plus part of college, but there is an actual application that has to be filled out, and they actually have to get accepted into CCP. And the reason is the college wants to, these are college courses. They're all different levels of college courses, but the college wants to make sure that they are ready, college ready, and there's different requirements if it's a math course versus maybe an English course or just something, technology, whatever it is. But there is a process for applying, and it's a little bit different at each place. So that can also get very confusing. But you do definitely have to make sure that you're reading through all of that and following the requirements for each college. Because like I said, it is different. So if a student applies, and we've had this question, and this kind of gets, the students a little bit confused, but just because they are accepted into the College Credit Plus program, say at UC, that does not mean that they're automatically accepted at UC when they become seniors and are looking to go to school after high school. So this is just the College Credit Plus part of that college. So this is, we say it is your responsibility. This is kind of the slide for the students, but it's good for you to hear as well. But what we tell them is, College Credit Plus isn't a Sycamore High School program. We'll help. We're the counselors. We'll help facilitate this process, point you in the right direction, answer questions. But College Credit Plus is a state of Ohio program connected with the colleges, and if you choose or if your son or daughter chooses to participate in this, it's really kind of a partnership between you and them to make sure that all of these things happen, so that all the requirements are understood, the application, the required placement test, you're going to hear a little bit about that when you hear from the college reps over here, that all deadlines are met, and that there is communication with their Sycamore High School counselor. So basically we keep a big database of our students who are in College Credit Plus, whether they're taking the classes here, or online, or at the university, whatever it is. We have to have all of that information at the beginning of the school year. So how do I know if this is right for me? So if, in the presentation tomorrow when we're talking to the students, we ask them to think about some things, but also you as parents, we ask you to think about, your son and daughter, and so you know what they're like and what their maturity level is and what their interest level is and discipline and drive and motivation. So we ask kind of the following questions, or that they think about the following questions. Do you fall asleep on me, Mr. Millett? Come on, okay, here we go. Now I know not to make the slides in this color anymore. It definitely is a little bit better in the auditorium. But College Credit Plus is right for you if you want to do that sort of dual enrollment thing. You want to take some of your high school classes, you want to take college classes that satisfy both requirements, okay? College Credit Plus might be right for you if you've completed your high school graduation required classes and you want to begin college work. And it might also be right for you if you want to explore college and take a course in a subject that interests you. Something to remember, and something that still kind of boggles my brain a little bit, is that this program is open to students in the state of Ohio in grades 7 through 12. I know, 7 through 12, right? So that's the law. So students, can participate at a very young grade. And sometimes, we worry a little bit about that just in terms of, whether or not they're ready. And one of the main reasons has to do with the next slide, which is, are there risks? And there are. And you need to be very, very, very aware of these risks. There's a ton of advantages, It's a great program in many ways, but one of the other things that you have to be aware of are the risks. So the grade that you earn in the course is applied to your high school GPA, which that kind of makes sense. The other thing that you have to think about is that these are college transcripted credits. So your student is earning high school credit. They're also earning college credit, and that they are also beginning then a college transcript. Sometimes we have very few students who start doing this much before 10th grade. There are some. But they are earning transcripted credit, and it becomes part of their college GPA. So just imagine that, you have a son or a daughter in this and it sounds great and they earn a C. A C is not the end of the world, but a C is a rough way to start college. So those are some things to think about and have those conversations and know that this is not just something that you can just pretend like it never happened once they get to that point where they're applying to college. If you fail or drop the class, you may have to pay for it. So when you start reading through all this information, this course is paid for on the state level and also on the district level. And so school districts, technically, if the class is not passed, technically the school district is not liable to pay for that class. So we don't typically have that situation, but it is another thing that you definitely want to make yourself aware of. So how do the credits that they earn in College Credit Plus transfer to their Sycamore High School transcript? And it's pretty easy. The colleges at the end of each semester just send us basically the grades, the names of the students, the courses they completed, and the grades they earned, and we transfer it over to their Sycamore High School transcript. So it will actually say the name of the course, and then it'll say school earned at, it'll say University of Cincinnati, or Sinclair, or whatever the college is, that's Cincinnati State. So it'll actually say on their high school transcript it'll say that it's a CCP class, and it'll say which university awarded that credit. And then remember, it also counts for a Sycamore credit. So a semester-long class at a college that's 3 credit hours or more counts for a full year class. So most of our students take 3-hour-long classes at the college level that are doing College Credit Plus. So in one semester, they earn 3 college credit hours, and it counts for a full year of high school credit. The credits they earn are also weighted, so there's information to read about that as well, but they do get a bump in their GPA for their college credit plus classes like they do in some accelerated and AP classes. How do they transfer to other colleges after they graduate? So it's the same way. Basically, those credits are awarded from that university. So let's say they got college credit plus classes at University of Cincinnati as a high school student, and they enroll at Ohio State for their freshman year of college. Ohio State receives that transcript from UC, and those credits then become part of their college transcript history. So it all happens. It's not magic, but it's a pretty streamlined process. So this is a message that we give to the students tomorrow, and we really kind of talk to them about, you know, remember what you're signing up for. Remember what you're doing, okay? Because some of them are very used to a lot of things being done for them, but in participating in this process, it's a choice that you're making. We encourage it. It's awesome. It can be an unbelievable experience. It can be an unbelievable cost savings. It can be an unbelievable educational experience. So all the things that you kind of want it to be, it can be, but you're making a commitment, and it's important that they own the process. You coach and partner with them, especially if they're on the younger end and thinking about participating in this. But it is, it's important to kind of keep that mindset that this is, again, something that we help with, something that we facilitate, but it's kind of separate from what we do here, with the exception of the 5 classes that we teach on this campus. So again, we'll always be willing to help and provide those resources, but I think that's a really important point. And I think, Mr. Millett, the next slide. Okay, so what we're gonna, so these are our special guests that we have here tonight, so we're gonna introduce them to you in just a second. But before we do that, we're gonna have one of our students, who's probably our College Credit Plus champion, first team all conference, CCP, I just made that up, Katie. Gonna come down and kind of give you a feel for when she started in College Credit Plus and kind of what her experience has been and what her day is like. And so this is Katie Hayes. She is a senior. She is a member of the women's lacrosse team, and she has done some extensive College Credit Plus, and she's always willing to be our featured speaker at these presentations. So take it away.
Hi, I'm Katie. I started College Credit Plus last year, and I took online classes last year. So I took math and English, and then the rest of my classes I took at Sycamore. And then this year I take all of my classes at UC, and I do UC Blue Ash because it's closer. And I have 40 plus credit hours that I'll graduate with, and I really like it. It's fun. I want to go to med school, so I decided to do it just because I wanted to lower the amount of time I was going to be in school after I graduated high school. And I will be a junior, almost, right, when I graduate? Second semester sophomore-ish?
Junior. With an asterisk.
So my first class this semester on Monday, Wednesday, Friday is at 10 o'clock. I finish at 2:20 on Wednesday and Friday, and 5 o'clock because I have a chemistry lab on Monday. On Tuesday, I have one class from 11:15 to 12:15, and then on Thursday, I have a biology lab from 9 a.m. to 11:05. And then, other than that, I do homework and study.
So you can kind of see that this is like almost like fully immersed College Credit Plus. She's also able to participate in everything at Sycamore. She's meets the qualifications to be eligible for athletics, and is, you know, wanders around the halls every once in a while, has done all of her college applications and kind of ready to roll. So she's on her third year of it? Second year of it? Second year of it. So just kind of an example that we wanted you to see. Most of our students don't take quite as much as what Katie has done, but again, that's total personal preference, family preference, and just diligence on her part to kind of organize all of that and logistically make it all work. So she's going to also speak and do some Q&A tomorrow in our student presentation, but we thought we would bring her here tonight so you could see a real live College Credit Plus student. So you're free to go. But she will be, if your kids are coming down to the meeting tomorrow, she will be a part of that as well. So thanks, Katie. So I'm going to turn it over to Jamie Solomon from UC for her part of the presentation, and then we'll move on to Sinclair.
Thank you. Good evening. How is everybody doing? Good? All right, awesome.
Jamie, do you mind if I'm sorry.
So,
This was left up on the table. It's like a key card, Honeywell, with a little guy on it thingy. Anybody? We'll bring it to you if you raise your hand. There's no name on it. It just says Honeywell, and
It's left on this table right out here.
it was left on the table where the handouts are. So it gets you into work in the morning, no excuse. Okay, it's coming your way. You just stay right there. Okay.
awesome. All right. Anybody headlights on? We're good? Yeah, I'm just kidding. Real quick, is Katie still here? She leave? Okay, no problem. Okay, I just had to follow up with her. She had questions. One thing I kind of want to piggyback on something that Katie had said. Katie is a great example of her schedule is a little bit more weighted and being in the CCP program because it works for her schedule here at Sycamore. The one thing that Katie was shy that she didn't say about, she's a very high achieving academic student. She works very hard, and it's not just the academic side of everything, is that she puts in the time, the study time, and the time management that comes along with taking on that many amount of courses that she's enrolled in, because med school is a very big goal and objective, and it's very competitive to get into. So those are a little of those things that we'll talk about here when it comes to picking your classes and stuff, but I'm very thankful to have been able to work with her. She's a great student and really great example of what we get to work with on a day-to-day basis that Todd and I both get to work with. Okay, so Mr. Milletta, whoever's working, awesome, let's roll. Information about any contacts here with UC. I am the representative at UC Main Campus. I'm the Senior Academic Advisor at UC Main Campus for CCP. But any information that you would like to know about UC Blue Ash or UC Claremont, I will drive you to their websites. They are on the back of the card that is on the table out front for those campuses, because they do have, all three campuses have different admission processes. So any questions with that, I could probably answer some high-level regional campus questions, but as far as their admission process, I would definitely refer you to their websites or the information packet that was provided to you by Sycamore. Course delivery options that we offer here for UC is, the first one is we offer the in-high school at Sycamore, and there's a few listing of the courses that we offer that are taught by UC professors that are in the high school here teaching the curriculum that would be reflective of what is taught on campus. That is a key indicator about College Credit Plus. The courses that are taught in the high school, the curriculum, the rigor, and so forth, is reflective of what would have been taught at the high school, or excuse me, at the college. So that's important to know. This isn't just CCP college credit. This is actual transcripted college credit. The other offer that we have is the offering on-campus/online through UC Maine, UC Blue Ash, or UC Claremont. And again, those have application procedures and different admission processes that we require for that. For on-campus option, we require an online application. New news, UC CCP welcomed ourselves into the 21st century and got ourselves an online application. You have no idea how happy I am about that. Anyway, so online application, a high school transcript, which you can get from your high school here, your guidance counseling and staff here. We also will need an authorization form and ACT or SAT. And again, this is on campus or online only. The ones that are offered for in high school is an authorization form, online application. We will be doing a math placement and AccuPlacer proctoring, I believe on March 16th here at Sycamore. And of course a high school transcript. So those are your two different options that we offer at UC. Deadlines. Something that's really important to know, if your student is entertaining at all, taking courses in the summer, in the fall, the application deadline is April 1st, and that is a firm deadline for UC main campus to get all those pieces in that we need. And everything I'm talking about also is located on our website. So if you have some questions or feel like you missed a piece of this information, it is all on our website, and of course you can reach out to me or any of my colleagues this week at all. Sorry. Another option is if for some reason you can't get everything in on the on-campus online format, and you would like to take a course online or on campus at UC Uptown, you also do have an option for taking courses in the spring, and that deadline is November 1st. My current juniors, rising seniors, I really want to stress something to you. If you are looking to take courses in the spring, on campus or online, whether it's UC Blue Ash, UC Claremont, or UC Main campus, please do not, please make sure that those courses that you're wanting to take in the springtime on campus or online are not a part of a high school graduation requirement. For example, a final English or final math or final government. You want to make sure that you're going to take those in the fall. If you're following what I'm trying to get at is that you want to take those courses in the fall, because what happens if you decide that you want to withdraw from that, or something happens and you want to drop that course? You don't want to wait to springtime to take that high school graduation requirement, because if you drop or withdraw from it, you're kind of stuck, and that affects high school graduation. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's what I'm talking more my current juniors, rising seniors, about any on-campus option. If you're doing anything with high school graduation requirements, we want to make sure we cover that in the fall. Okay. Application procedure. I know this is a little teeny tiny on there, so again, I will guide you back to the website, but I'll kind of go through this. Letter of intent to participate. Your counseling staff had covered that wonderfully here. That's your first step. You got to get that letter of intent and to participate into your high school. One thing I will say this is, if you're interested at all in CCP, no matter which campus or which institution you're doing, go ahead and submit that letter of intent. It's not locking you into CCP. It is just acknowledging this is what you're interested in doing. You definitely want to go ahead and turn that in, even if you're entertaining it just a little or a lot, because you can't go back and return that in. Second step is that you'll need to complete and submit the UC Uptown on the main page, the online application, and on there you'll have, for us, you'll have in high school option, or both, or on campus online. So you have 3 different options that you can pick from there. And if you get through that and you find that there's some questions or issues or questions arise from the application, definitely feel free to reach out and we'll be able to answer this for you. Again, mission decisions will be available probably by the end of the week of April 1st. You need to give us at least about a week to make those decisions, and we'll turn those over to you via your email. You don't need to worry about non-public. I don't have any non-public or homeschool students in here, do I, by chance? Okay, excellent. Students will complete the mandatory advising prior to course registration for fall. That's for in high school and for on campus. So for example, if you're doing the in high school format, there will be some mandatory advisement pieces that you will need to complete, and that'll be communicated through me directly, letting you know. Most likely it's going to be a presentation and kind of an authorization that you had gone through the advising presentation and acknowledged that. That's the in high school. If you're doing online or on campus through UC Maine, mandatory academic advising in person will happen with me, where we'll sit down and we'll kind of process your schedule and see how that's going to correlate with your schedule at Sycamore, your life schedule, work schedule, that type of thing too. We'll walk through about how to register for classes. One thing I will say too is that in high school, if you're doing the in high school format, taking CCP, just like you have wonderful counseling staff here at Sycamore, you have another resource as an academic advisor. That is me. I may not see you every day as an in-high school CCP student, but know you always have me as a resource to ask questions and how will those college credits transfer to another institution, and so on. I'm there to help with that also, and go through the murky red tape of CCP. And then students who will verify your enrollment for classes, and we'll do that at the beginning of your school year. All right, these are the uniform statewide standards for remediation-free status. I pulled this directly from the ODE website, the Ohio Department of Education's website. The reason I pulled this up is the number one question I get asked from parents that are looking to come on campus or online with their students is, what is the ACT, SAT scores that you are looking at? And again, this is pulled from the ODE website, but the basic one here is to keep in mind, when we do a review of your application, whether you're doing in-house or in high school or on campus, we do what is called a holistic review, meaning this. We have to review not only your standardized testing, whether that's the MPT Acupuncture for in high school, or the ACT or SAT for on-campus online. We also review your high school transcript and your GPA and the coursework and your pattern of academic behavior. That gives us a holistic review. Because a student very well may do wonderfully on the standardized testing, but something funky is kind of going on with the GPA or the academic behavior that's happening in the high school transcript, or vice versa. So we have to look at everything. But everybody always asks me, what are the scores that we look for? I want to be clear about something. These are the foundational scores that we will look for to entertain your admission for CCP. An ACT for English is 18, reading is 22, and math is 22. SAT, writing is 430, critical reading is 450, reading's 450, and math is 520. Kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of what the benchmarks are for the ACT and SAT that we look for to consider your application. Okay? And again, these are located on Ohio Department of Education's website. Required materials for a CCP application is our application online, high school transcripts, authorization form, and test scores. We've talked about that. A little bit about the student experience if you're looking to come onto campus, and this is for our in-high school students though too, but primarily a lot of this has to do with our on-campus students. You can get a Bearcat ID. Each student, no matter if you're in high school or on campus online, please hear me when I say this. If you're entertaining anything with UC, and you get admitted to the UC CCP, you're going to be given a UC email address because you will be a UC student, an actual college student. Please check your UC email address. Okay? You have these wonderful things called smartphones and smart devices. I know you can put your multiple email addresses on there. I have like 5. Okay? Don't push your UC emails to your Gmails or your Yahoo accounts because they will spam all the live long day. So you want to create a separate account and check those because this is key. Underneath educational privacy laws for post-secondary institutions, to our students, the only way we technologically can communicate with you after you're admitted into the institution is via your UC email account. We can talk to you over phone, we can talk to you in person, but that UC email account is important because I cannot tell you how many times I get a phone call from a parent or from a student crying about something that happened that went wrong, and we have communicated to that student frequently about an issue, missing items, and so forth, and I'll always ask the question, have you checked your UC email account? What do you think that answer probably was? No. Okay, so we always have to put the responsibility back on the students. I will say this, students, if you're looking to do this program, no matter what institution you're looking to attend to do this through, you're going in as a college student. That is the expectation that you have to have some college student responsibilities that are part of this program. That lies some of the risks, so you need to keep in mind that the responsibility is very important to check things and keep up with everything that's going on with this program. Okay. All right, I will hold questions until the end because I know we have a Q&A. But one thing I just want to keep in mind though too is that it seems a lot of overwhelming information that is thrown at you, and I know it's going to take a hot minute to let it marinate. Definitely go home, talk about this as a family to see what is in the best interest of the family. I say this all the time. I'm not in the selling game of this program. I've been long out of admissions. This is all representative of student success. You got to pick what's best for you. Is it CCP? Is it AP? What direction is going to be best for your student and your family for this program? And we're really excited to have you here, so thank you. Todd? All right. You're up now.
All right, good evening everyone. My name is Todd Schilling. I'm the Sinclair coordinator that works specifically with all Sycamore schools and all Butler and Hamilton County schools as well. So I'm going to talk a little about Sinclair's process and kind of like why you should choose Sinclair if you're looking at CCP. One thing that I always like to highlight is accessibility. We are from 11 miles from the Mason campus, so it's a straight shot up 71 right to Kings Island is where our Mason campus is. But we also offer over 160 courses online, so majority of your general education core classes are offered online or at the Mason campus. We have over 200 degree certificate programs, so that means there's a wide variety of programs to choose from, so everything from unmanned aerials to culinary to your general liberal arts transfer degrees. Those are all covered through our programs. And then also one thing I want to highlight is we have a CCP completion scholarship. So if a student completes 30 credit hours through Sinclair during CCP with a 3.0 GPA, they'll be eligible for a $3,000 scholarship to attend Sinclair after high school to finish their 2-year degree and transfer on to a 4-year school. That is not renewable, but it will at least help with that first year, $1,500 a semester. So I'd like to highlight the cost-saving piece of CCP. So as for public school students, there's zero investment as long as you pass the course. The school district handles the book costs, handles the tuition charges. The only thing you're responsible for is transportation. As you can see, if a student attends a private school, so Xavier, University of Dayton, tuition alone, you're looking at upwards of $30,000 for a 1 year of college. So 1 year of college, just getting 30 credit hours out of the way through CCP is a great opportunity. So we have a number of pathways we've developed with our chairs and deans at Sinclair. And so what you can do, this is just a sample of our liberal arts pathway, which on our website, out on the World Wide Web, there is a total of 8 or 9 pathways that we've developed ranging from STEM, engineering specific, business, healthcare, that will allow a student to see, okay, I want to go down a certain career path. I want to attend UC eventually. I want to attend Xavier with a certain degree. Which pathway should I follow? These are not the restricted courses your students has to take, but it gives them a great checklist to go through and say, here's some courses I can get out of the way preemptively before I transfer on to a 4-year school or another 2-year. So will it transfer is probably the biggest question I get from a lot of students, a lot of families. A majority of the courses that we run, either at the Mason campus or online, are covered under the Ohio Transfer Module. So they will transfer to any 4-year public school in the state of Ohio. And there's some private schools out there that will accept those. I always say reference the transferology.com. Go on, create an account, and you can put the exact courses in, and then the court where you're thinking they might transfer. It'll tell you, yes, these are going to transfer. Maybe they'll transfer. So sometimes it will say maybe. Contact that school. Once you start doing college visits, take your transcript with you. Call the admissions office before you sign up for a class. A lot of these schools are very open about what they'll accept. So go ahead and call them and just ask, hey, I'm taking English 1101 at Sinclair. Will this transfer in as your English credit? Majority of the time, yes. Sinclair's CCP students, we like to highlight the success of our students. Over 96% of students have received a passing grade in their class. Now that is a D or higher, so breaking it down a little further, 85% of the 96 received a C or higher. And we also had over 24,000 college credits completed last year by CCP students. So our current enrollment for CCP students is probably a little higher than UC main campus. We have over 4,000 students in the greater Dayton and greater Cincinnati area that go through our program. So to get started, we have a 2-step process. We have an online application. Go out to our CCP website, fill it out with the student as the user, not the parent. And then you will also be prompted to fill out a parent and school authorization form, which is in the folder if you grabbed it out there. You'll fill out the top portion, and then the bottom portion will have to be completed by the guidance staff, and they can send that in to us once they complete it. So we have two ways to become eligible for CCP. That would be our ACT or SAT scores, which is an 18 in English or a 22 in math. Or we offer the AccuPlacer, which you can take at the Mason campus or at Dayton or any other of our 5 locations. And you're able to sit down and either take the math or the English or both, and it will tell you if you qualify for college ready. My name is Todd Chilling. Like I said, I will be out here for questions once we open it up for Q&A here. Looking for the guidance staff. Okay?
Yeah.
Well, we're good, Mark? Okay.
Yeah. So we'll do a Q&A for 10, 15 minutes, take some questions that you might have.
We both are very much experts in CCP general stuff, so go ahead and raise your hand. Okay?
I wanted to ask what online courses are like. Is there a set time that the students expect to be online?
That's a great question. It varies from course to course. So some courses do have specific login times or specific requirements. Like we had a student that had an instructor that had a button that a student had to click every time they logged in. We had a student fail because he did not click that button every time he logged in. Most classes are not like that. Most online classes are work at your pace following the deadlines that are given by the instructors. So it may be 2 posts during 1 week. It may be post and respond to 3 other posts during that week. So it just varies course to course, but we have a high success rate for our online courses. And you see main campus?
I would just keep in mind, again, this is my advisor hat that comes on with online courses, is that it's not just like tooling around on the internet. It's a lot of different time management, I would say, than being in class. It has a little bit more flexibility, but there is a lot of reading, a lot of important information that's on there. It's not as far as just the reading of the coursework and the syllabus, but what the expectations are from the instructors and about logging in, and then of course the technological issues that may arise with that too. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about doing an online class. Same thing with UC. We have some professors that require active, what we call active participation on an online class. We have others that are to go at your own pace, turn in information. We have some that have to watch live webinars, some that can watch lectures on YouTube, and then do their their reports or whatever that may be. But again, online is something that is a whole different beast, and something that I really encourage students who are looking into that to make sure they read the syllabus all the way through and the professor's expectations for that.
Good question. Do you have access to the syllabus before you sign up for the course to see what that, for example, like what if you were supposed to be logging on and you're in the middle of your high school day? You know, like how would you have awareness to that conflict?
Great, that's a good question. For both of us, you register for courses well in advance of when you actually start the course. So the syllabus appears when you register for the course. There's a course description for the course itself, but the actual logistics of the online course won't be outlined until the syllabus is available, and that's when the student registers for that, because they really kind of can't be sharing syllabuses prior to registering for courses. But it's a good question. It's advanced enough before that they can drop it if they want to.
Yeah, what's the difference between the AccuPlacer and the ACT?
Excellent, that's a good question. Do you do AccuPlacer, Todd? Okay, so for the AccuPlacer test, it is a standardized test that CCP recognizes as a standardized testing tool that we can submit to the state for students to meet the benchmark of standardized testing. It is what we used to call, or what we call Compass's cousin, now that Compass Test is no longer available. ACT and AccuPlacer are in the same family, so to speak. They're both standardized testing, but this is just a little bit of a personal opinion. ACT is just a little bit more rigorous, especially with the expectations of what is required for when a student goes into college as a freshman and what is required as part of that admission process. With the coursework that we're providing here at Sycamore through the in-high school format, this is why we chose AccuPlacer for the in-high school format, because it provides a level of rigor for standardized testing, but convenience for the student participating in high school because of the specific classes that we're offering. ACT, one of the reasons why we're requiring it for students that come on campus is because the course catalog opens up so much more than the courses we're offering through the in-high school format. So to envelope all those students to meet college readiness standards, we need to have them take the ACT. So they're both rigorous standardized testing, but they kind of have their own place, so to speak.
And just to follow up too, there's no signing up for it on our part. Your student can sign up and do the application, and then walk into our Mason campus and do the tests at their leisure. Usually takes about an hour to an hour and a half to do both sections. But I always recommend if the student's unsure about it, there is practice material out there. If that's the route you're choosing, the easy way to do it is just to Google AccuPlacer practice test. There's materials out there that are very easy to follow.
Great question.
I have a question, but I thought I would also add a comment on the online piece, only because my daughter has taken several in-person classes as well as 4 online classes through the various campuses at UC. And she has found all 4 of the online classes to be completely flexible and yet very, very different. One was the assignment was posted on Monday morning at 8 a.m. and it was due by midnight on Sunday, and it included 12 different video clips that were 10 to 12 minutes each with questions and answers afterwards. And that was totally different than, of course, she's in this semester where the professor sends out a doodle poll and does optional live webinars, and they're optional, and they'll send out a doodle poll to see when the class is available and schedules it that way. And then everything in between, another class where they assign it every 2 weeks with interim due dates in between, and the 4th class has due dates every 3 days. It's just been really, really different. The question I had is, if a student is admitted to the UC Blue Ash College Credit Plus program, can they take a course in any of the 3 campuses for UC?
It's a great question. Okay, so in the past, if your student has participated with us in the past, it had been have some availability to be enrolled in one campus and have some availability to take courses through another campus. This year, with our new student support system called Catalyst, the regional campuses and the main campuses have what we call campus blocks on them. So also with reporting standards that we have to submit to the state, do not confuse this with that you cannot apply to multiple colleges. You can. You could, under CCP, you can apply to Sinclair, to us, and to Cincinnati State. I don't recommend doing all 3, it's a lot to juggle, but you can underneath CCP legislation. With UC, you can only apply for one campus for a home campus this year. And that'll meaning that we are requiring that our students, if they are looking to do UC main campus, they are going to be taking their classes at the main campus. If they're going to apply at UC Blue Ash, their intent is to take all their courses at UC Blue Ash.
But what if something is available only through an alternate campus? If
It-
it's a course that they want to take?
That kind of comes with the CCP program. With it, that's where we encourage students that, that you're looking at what the courses are. Right now, fall's not available for courses that are up there. But if you're knowing that you're wanting to be on one certain campus, that's why we're requiring our students to be on a home campus. Because even our matriculated students are blocked from taking multiple courses at multiple campuses. So we're reflecting that. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Is this true of the online courses as well?
As is it true for the online courses? Remember, online and on campus are the same umbrella. So no, that's a great question. I get that asked a lot. That's why I always say when I say on campus / online, that's what we mean with that. Ma'am, if you have further questions about that too, I'm happy to talk to you about that afterwards.
Thank you. I was just curious.
No.
Sometimes Claremont is the only one that has an online option. But UC West.
Exactly. So I would say this, do a little bit of research on all 3 campuses. Like I said, I'm not sold on any campus that your student would want to attend. I'm all about what is in best interest of your student. So I would say this, go on each CCP website, look at their application process, look at their application, what they're looking for, look at if you want all online courses and don't want to do anything in high school, and you want to find out more through Claremont, I would recommend applying for UC Claremont CCP. That makes sense. Great question. Yes, sir. Yeah.
So CCP, the list of colleges that have online programs, is it restricted to just the Cincinnati area? Is it all of Ohio? Is it all of the nation?
Not nation, but any Ohio school that's participating, that offers online courses, and is participating in CCP, your student can apply there per their admissions requirements and attend through their program. So, for instance, we have students taking courses at Kent. We have a student taking a class at Toledo. So and they're online, so there's no travel. But of course, it's all about where your student wants to go and looking at the different programs.
Over here.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, this is Raymond Walker's question. So from previous experience, the articulation agreement between Raymond Walker classes and main campus classes can vary. So I've seen classes from the Raymond Walker's campus not necessarily articulating into the main campus. Are all these classes mainstream through?
Okay, so when the question was do the regional campuses for UC and UC main campus basically, do they transfer back and forth and are they equal? Is pretty much what you're getting at, yes. Okay, so when it was Raymond Walters, with its UC Blue Ash now moniker for that, we're all UC. So the credit that comes from UC Blue Ash, UC Claremont, and UC, we're all UC. It's all UC credit. So when you get the college credit, whether you're taking it through UC Blue Ash, through UC Claremont, UC Maine, it is University of Cincinnati, it's credit. But I will say this, and this probably will not apply to CCP students because they're not going to be able to get into these courses. Specific program courses that are designed for specific programs that have what we call prerequisite block to them, higher level specific courses that are a part of an associate's program, are probably not going to parlay into a bachelor program at UC Maine. But those are not needed to worry about for CCP students because our CCP students are taking most of the time general education courses. And that's where advising comes in, is if they're wanting to start taking more upper level courses that are going to be into a program that UC offers, that's where advising comes in, and we have that discussion, okay, hold up, why are we doing that? Are you sure you want to go to UC? We need to look, if that's not, you don't want to go to UC, why are you taking a Business 2000 level course? Because you don't know how that's going to transfer to another college or university, so we need to do some research on that. So that's where that advising piece comes in for that. But that's a great question. Hi.
So I just want to make sure I understand this correctly. CCP classes are offered online, they're offered on college campuses, and they're also offered at Sycamore High School, or no? Yes, at Sycamore High School.
That is correct.
How do I find out which ones are offered at Sycamore High School?
They should be in your packet, the white staple packet that's on there. And if you are looking to take your courses through Sycamore I believe that they're offered through UC Uptown, you would apply to UC Uptown in high school format. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes, sir.
And just to be 100% sure, I think you mentioned,
Sure.
I'm not exactly sure if you said, UC main campus requires the ACP or SAT,
Only if you're doing on-campus / online.
but UC Blue Ash would only require the compass or Active.
They will require math placement, and then I believe their English placement test that I think they're doing AccuPlacer now.
Okay, but not necessarily
Correct. But I did hear through the pipeline this week, if you're doing UC Claremont on campus online, they are now going to be requiring ACT or SAT scores.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good question. Did we make it clear as mud for you all? Hold on just 1 second. Yes, ma'am.
Since there wasn't a question, I thought I'd also mention a tool with transferology.com.
Yes.
My daughter considered a couple of courses. She had an idea of where she wanted to end up in college. She put in the UC courses that she was considering taking to see if they would transfer to the school she's going to. One of the courses wouldn't, but a different number, because it was a different level, would, and that helped her in choosing which of the anatomy and physiology courses to take.
Absolutely.
So that is a good kind of counseling thing for your kids as they're looking where they want to go.
Agreed 100% from both of us that that tool is out there for students to use. Use it because it gives you a great idea of what is going to transfer. The other piece I've had more success with also is calling an admissions office. The admissions reps will take the time to look that course up and tell you, yes, it's going to transfer, no. And you know, for a lot of students looking at out-of-state schools, go ahead and call.
Agreed.
Because there's no agreements there. But a lot of the core classes, English, psych, so just basic entry-level courses, generally will transfer in, but always call to be safe.
I will say this about transferring. I'm so sorry. I will say this about transferring. In the state of Ohio, we have the agreement. The courses will transfer amongst the state of Ohio. Our courses are going to transfer outside of the state of Ohio. It is not a matter of if they will, it's how they will. So keep this in mind. Your student, I'll use UC, if your student is looking at the program guide for our engineering program and they're seeing all these courses that have a marker of a 2000 level course, remember those are program specific courses. You don't decide to come to UC or get admitted to UC and you want to go somewhere else, those courses are going to transfer somewhere, but they're most likely going to transfer as college electives. So you have to kind of keep some of those in mind, but that's getting way ahead. That's where advising comes in. That's where calling admission offices and talking that through comes in. Again, I know it's a lot of information. Yes, ma'am.
This is probably a very obvious question. Yeah. The ACT, SAT scores, if they were taken like in the 7th or 8th grade, but they're still okay, they're acceptable, right?
Yes.
Even if you're
Yes.
the child in high school.
Yeah, the question was if the student took the ACT or SAT when they were in 7th or 8th grade, and now that they're in high school, will those be able to be a part of the program? Absolutely, they can be submitted. They just have to be submitted officially from College Board or ACT.org. Yes.
Can you tell me what the difference is between physics accelerated, like if you just take it in a regular high school class, versus taking it through this, versus AP physics?
Okay, so AP Physics, just keep in mind, AP, of course, you take the course all year round in your high school and then you test at the end of the year to get the credit. Okay, that's AP. If you're taking College Credit Plus College Physics, if it's offered in the in-high school format, it can either be offered all year round and then they get the 3 credit, or I think it's 5 credit, I can't remember. Or they can take it on the campus and do the semester, the traditional 15 weeks, and get the 3 credit hours and get the A, or get the grade. See that plug for an A? Yeah, get the grade. So I always say this with AP versus college credit, it's a matter of preference. It is 100% a matter of preference on how you want to earn that college credit for, say, physics, calc, English, government. It's a preference on the student.